Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. This has been highly anticipated, long awaited, but it is here, man. Big Faxx podcast with me, DJ MoonDawg, and my brother Quanicus. We're so excited. Yeah.
What's going on, y'all? First things first, subscribe to the newly created YouTube channel for the podcast where all episodes will be posted every Monday.
Yeah, and of course, you should know, make sure you follow us on mixer.com/DJ MoonDawg, mixer.com/Quanicus, and that's where we kick off our live streams. You want to join us there as well, all right?
For sure. Now let's start today's show, man.
Ninja impact on Mixer. Quan, this has been the topic of talk, not just on Mixer, of course, but in the streaming world, where Ninja has converted over. And there's been a lot of dialogue on that, and it is what it is. But I feel like there's a real conversation to have here, specifically about what the impact of Ninja's been on Mixer. Now, it's been, what, about 2 weeks? Has it been about 2 weeks so far? Just about?
It's been about 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks. This is still like early in the honeymoon phase of things, right? It's still not a lot of time to really get a good assessment, but I think there are some indicators here about what this trend could lead to for Ninja coming over the Mixer and what it can mean for us, right? Being on the platform. Let me ask you this: what have you seen in the broader scene of Ninja's impact on Mixer as a whole, and then specifically, have you noticed things in your own channel? That's really why I want to start with this.
More specifically for the channel. I mean, as a whole, I can't really speak to as a whole. I know the community is talking a lot about it. We hear it from non-partners and partners alike. Streamers in general are all talking about it. It's a big move. As far as my channel specifically, yeah, you see a lot of people coming over. I'm from Twitch. I'm only here because of Ninja, or I never knew what Mixer was until Ninja got here. Yeah. So that's an impact and a half.
And then that's just 2 weeks in. That's kind of the same thing. I have seen, as a whole, a lot of the category numbers up, right, across the board. Like, I think us being on here for a while now, we have a clear idea of what's normal numbers for Fortnite, what's a normal number for PUBG, and all these different categories. And just in these 2 weeks, I've seen a surge in viewership in each of these categories. I've even seen, more importantly, I've even seen an increase in games that are PC driven, that are big on Twitch, like League of Legends or like Teamfight Tactics. You know, I've been playing that pretty heavily. Games that are games that are really big on Twitch. I've seen viewership numbers jump up higher on over there, or on Mixer now as well, which is it's a good sign.
Absolutely.
Because
I think it's a big sign.
Yeah, because Mixer is definitely trying to expand so people don't think that it's an Xbox driven platform and that it's going to live and die on Xbox in the console community. They want streamers for different things: PS4, PC, Switch, to be honest. So I've seen that impact. And then specifically in my channel, I've also seen and had people, like you said, come in brand new. I didn't even know what a Mixer was, or I'm here because I heard the Ninja news, so I'm just checking it out. And I've had quite a few streamers. I've had quite a few streamers from Twitch. I'm just checking it out, kind of like getting a feel for it. And the cool thing, I don't know if you've had the experience as well, but for me, those streamers that stream on Twitch that have come over to kind of check it out, see what's going on, have all said, I kind of like the vibe here. I like the community. I like that people are chatting and interacting. I think this is a really good sign.
I think so too, man. I can't really speak for Twitch. I'm over there here and there.
Right.
But I think it is a big sign because overall, from what I've seen for myself, the culture is different here on the platform, on Mixer platform. It's a lot more engaging from what I've seen personally. It's a lot more engaging, and I'm not trying to, toot nobody's horn, but it's more of like family oriented, right? You got the whole Xbox console thing going, and like you just mentioned a little while ago, how you see a sudden increase in PC on the PC side, but overall the culture here I think is different on the Mixer platform.
Oh yeah, absolutely is. And this is something that we've said in the Mixer culture can use a little spice, a little more flavor, but it's still nothing like what you see on Twitch, where it can be like the Wild West of the internet. You get all kinds of flavors in there, and some of those flavors are kind of shitty. And you don't really want those.
100%.
Here's something that while we're talking about his impact here, that there's this ongoing situation with Ninja versus Twitch, and it really escalated today. Now, this video came out from Ninja via his Twitter. Neither one of us have watched it, but it's currently amassed 2.1 million views. Let's go ahead and pull that up and show this video for everyone. And we'll go ahead and press play on this, and hopefully you guys can hear what he had to say, because things are getting really spicy.
As you guys know, I'm streaming on Mixer now. My team and I have made sure that the transition went incredibly smooth, super professional. We haven't said anything bad or negative about Twitch, obviously, because there really hadn't been any reason to. Over the last couple of days, there have been some things that have been going on that, we let slide. They were kind of annoying, little jabs we felt like, but it didn't matter. We wanted to stay professional. But now, for those of you who don't know, if you go to twitch.tv/ninja, they advertise other channels. They don't do this for anyone else that's offline, by the way, just me. And there are also other streamers who have signed with other platforms whose stream and channel still remains the same. You can see their VODs. They don't promote other streams. They don't promote other popular channels, but they do on mine. I've been streaming for 8 years to build my brand, to build that channel, 14.5 million followers. And they were still using my channel to promote other streamers. Well, now, there was a porn account that was #1 being recommended on my channel, and I have no say in any of this stuff. So this is this is the line, this is the straw. We're trying to get the whole channel taken down to begin with, or at least not promote other streamers and other channels on my brand, on my freaking profile. So for anyone who saw that, for anyone whose kids or who just didn't obviously want to see that,
Man,
I apologize.
that bothers me, bro.
It does. There's a lot to dissect there. So, and I know you got this tab pulled up, Quan. Let's show everyone that Keemstar edited thumbnail, right? If you take a look here, you can see it's edited, where that first channel was literally someone was streaming porn, and it showed up on his this new feed. Now, Ninja makes a point that this has never been done before. When a streamer leaves, they don't just push other people's content onto your channel. You own that channel, right? You just use their platform. So here's what I'm thinking, right? Clearly, Twitch is the vindictive X in this whole situation, right?
They're having a petty party.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
They're having a petty party, bro.
And what's crazy is they're doing it to one of their biggest streamers that was probably never caused them any issues. You would think they would do that to a shitty streamer that they had to deal with. You know what? We're tired of you. Not that it's right, but I could see that being a thing. But for Ninja?
Oh man, that's rough. And I got wind of this as I was streaming earlier, and I think it really disrupted my mood, especially as a father of 3 kids, where we live in our kids aren't brought up off the energy or off the same type of entertainment that we were brought up off of,
right?
With television, or DVDs, VHS, whatever the case may be. It's internet and streaming, right?
Yeah.
And the dude has 14 million. Not all 14 million followers are juvenile, are young individuals. But at the end of the day, he has a lot of young individuals on his who view his channel, who follow him.
Absolutely.
Let alone adults who might not want. I don't even watch the stuff. We had this, you know what I'm saying? We watched. I don't want to go to a person's page and see porn on the page. That really bothered me, man. And I don't know what can be done, but something needs to be done. Twitch is having a huge petty party right now.
Absolutely. And here's another thing, right? Ninja actually says in that clip that he's trying to take his own channel down. Right. And they're so petty that they don't want to lose all those followers on that one channel. Right. I don't know. I mean, you can see here in the drama alert clip that a lawsuit, I'm sure behind the scenes, he has to be threatening them with a big old lawsuit or some sort. You know what I mean?
How? That's like that. What, I mean, we don't work for a legal firm or anything like that. But like, what can you?
No, but
what?
Well, here's the thing. He alluded to the fact that they're trying to take down the channel. He's willing to delete that shit, right? He's willing to delete it. Now, is Twitch not allowing him to delete it? Like, is his delete button on his channel grayed out? Is it grayed out? It's shaded gray. He can't delete it. Like, this is bogus, dog.
It might not even be there. It might not even be there, dog. Yo, that thing is gone.
There's so many questions in all of this, and I feel terrible for what he's having to go through. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you you split with someone and you move on to a new relationship and you're happy and they see you happy and they just try to drag you, bro.
They just dragging you through the mud, yo.
Drag-
Let me tell you about him, girl. Let me tell you about Ninja. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, man. It's real petty. It's real petty.
It's something that it's something that's gonna bite Twitch in the ass, which, you know, as a matter of fact, can we talk about the hashtag Twitch over party? This is not Twitch's. This has not been Twitch's weeks in weeks. Like they are going through it.
A few months, man.
They're going through it. All right. So obviously, Ninja moving from Twitch to Mixer was a huge upshake. They're being clearly petty and vindictive about it with Ninja, who doesn't deserve it. Everything says that he left on amicable terms. They're probably salty that he didn't want to accept their offer, right? And he dipped out. He was within his right, and they're doing foul shit to his channel. And now this is a terrible look on Twitch, who's already had to deal with Alinity yeeting that cat and didn't get banned for that. There's been numerous other things that happened in the weeks.
People using restrooms and E3 situations.
Hey man,
you know.
they can't ban the doc though. Hey man, leave him alone.
Hey man,
but there's been not just recently, but just historically, there's been a constant issue with Twitch and their moderation choices, right? So here we are, and this is directly a result of Ninja. I feel like Ninja exposed them with this video, right? Can we agree on that?
I think so. 100%.
He called him out. He said he's willing to delete the channel, and he's not cool with them not only promoting other streamers on his channel, even though he's not there anymore. That's foul. But now
it is messed up.
But
man.
now you had a porn.
Disrupting his brand.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bad look. Now there's a hashtag that is trending worldwide. Twitch over party. Twitch is catching the biggest L possible right now. I think that's
100%.
That's agreed. Let's go ahead and pull up and show the people some of these tweets here. And I know you've got that one from this username at Raichu. You want to read that?
Raichu.
Yeah.
Twitch loses Ninja and use his old account to advertise porn, people. Fails to enforce the rules, allow nude cam girls on their platform, allows people to abuse their animals, and refuse to do anything about any of this. Hashtag Twitch over party.
And then as you can see, y'all, if I were to scroll down here, I mean, there's an ongoing list.
It doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop. I mean, they're all shooting their shots. I can't imagine how many of these people actually are on Twitch. What does this one person say, Ghostly? After all the gamers leave Twitch for Mixer, Twitch will probably turn into a camgirl website. Then the girls won't need to pretend to play games anymore. I mean, there's shots being capped off.
That's shots fired.
This
for sure.
This is a good one right here. This is Keemstar. He memed out Alinity. What's that sport, bro? Is it vaulting? When you throw the ball, when you spin and you throw the ball? He's got the cat right here. You see this?
Something with the Olympics.
One of those Olympic sports. One of the ones that we don't do in the culture. Yeah, it's one of those sports that we don't do in the culture, man. But
yeah, we don't do that. You know, we run and jump high.
Listen, there's memes on memes on memes about this Twitch over party here, which, you know, here's the question. How does Twitch fix this PR disaster from all these things that are going on in their platform? And by and large, I think the biggest issue is their moderation decisions, right? There's people clearly feel that there's bias in their decisions. Can Twitch even fix this shit?
Oh, yeah, I mean, if they wanted to, but clearly they're being petty. So do they want to? I mean, it's clearly is being done on purpose, right? So can they fix it? Of course. You know, but do they want to? That's a different question, right? And you mentioned something a little bit ago, saying Guardians, and I'm not trying to be this advocate of Mixer. I am not. We all know that I keep it real as much as I can, as much as possible, under the, you know, whatever. But at the end of the day, you know, that's one big caveat that Mixer does have is that Guardian program that they utilize to the best of their ability, and they don't play when it comes to that. When you step out of bounds, no matter who you are, I've seen some of the biggest streamers do something that violated the terms of agreement and were suspended. You know what I mean? Or banned. So it's a matter of not paying favoritism, no matter what kind of income is being drawn in by said channel. Now, that being said, though, we've never had anybody as big or as eye-popping as Ninja. So, you know, it's hard to say, does that change in the future?
That is interesting. I think we got to be honest here as well, though, that your status or the status of people, right, and what they draw in terms of viewers, numbers, money, it does. Let's be real. It plays a factor. It plays a factor.
does.
I think it played
Like
a
everything
factor
in life.
on why Doc didn't get booted off. He got a 2-week little timeout. He used that
2 weeks.
He used that 2 weeks to rebrand and do some memes and stuff, and he came back. It didn't surge his numbers like it did when he came back from his cheating wife scandal, right? But
it was still eyes nonetheless, though. It was definitely still
eyes.
But he got promotion nonetheless.
But he got mad support. There were a lot of people that were like, "Yo, you can't permaban him. Like, don't." They were gonna revolt.
He's interesting to watch, man.
No, absolutely.
I mean, I get it,
but I think
they were gonna revolt, though.
If he was permaban, there would have been a big revolt, and it would have been a bad look. I mean, they would have lost money, of course, and so I think it's just not fair to act like a person's status and what they drive in revenue doesn't alter these types of decisions, right? Here's something that I still got this Twitch over party.
Yeah, same here.
I just had this. It just refreshed, bro, and look at Keemstar.
I'm reading it right now.
And if you're not familiar with Keemstar, he's huge on YouTube. He's built his name off of reporting on YouTube drama and news, right, from creators on there. He was kind of like the news guy for YouTube, and then he's been part of the gaming community now for some time. Responsible for Friday Fortnite, which really is what excelled Ninja and all these Tfue guys into the limelight, right, from the Friday tournaments. He just tweeted out and said, "Not one Twitch partner can voice their opinion on Twitch over party without fear of being punished by the children that run the site, unless they defend Twitch, and I see none of them defending." He's capping.
Yeah,
he is capping off right now.
Yeah, rightfully so, man. I don't know, man. I think it's absurd what they did, man. It looks bad. It feels bad. Porn. I mean, there's millions of sites you can go to for that, right? I mean, are you kidding me? Porn. So, and that just solidifies with and I'm not saying this to be true, but you know how there's been complaints about Twitch being a place where if you're a female streamer with big breasts, there's a place for you, right? And I'm not saying I'm on either side of those fences on either side of the argument, but it just solidifies if you're gonna go all the way and show nudity, promote nudity on your channel. I mean, it just solidifies with those people who have been complaining about that, that they're right.
Right. Is it? Here's a thought, right? And maybe let me play devil's advocate on this, and say that Twitch has what 1 point some million streamers a month. Like it's some dumb number, right?
It's up there. Yeah.
How realistic is it for them to catch somebody? I mean, things are going to fall in the cracks, no?
Say that one more time.
So if I'm playing devil's advocate here, I know you're so confused. Yeah. All right, if I'm playing devil's advocate,
no, I'm listening to you, but I just want to make sure I heard what I heard.
Yeah, they got I think on the Streamlabs quarterly report, they had something like 1 point some million streamers, right? People that actually go live and stream out. Active, right? So with that volume, is it fair to say that they're going to have things are going to slip through the cracks?
No.
Why?
You're on a page of a person who just left your platform unexpectedly, right? I mean,
well, they knew because he didn't agree to their terms. They knew he was going to leave.
They knew he was going to leave. Okay, yeah. So they knew he was going to leave, but you're talking about 14 million people, and as fast as the internet is, that word spreads like wildfire. And all the screenshots, all the tweets. How long was it up for? Right? Do we even know how long it was up for? I don't even know.
No clue how long it took before it was discovered.
And that just goes to say what I was talking about a little while ago with, I don't know what their Guardian program is over there on that platform, but I know that we had something remotely similar to that where a female on Mixer showed her butt cheeks, and that was gone in the blink of an eye. I mean, it was gone so fast. You probably didn't even see both cheeks.
Wait, can you tell me whose cheeks were up on? I just for scientific purposes.
We'll talk about that off stream. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, sorry.
Nah, but yeah, I'm sure people reported it, didn't like it. And once they got wind of it, it should have been gone immediately, man. It should have been gone immediately. It had 14 point. The screenshot I saw had 14K viewers. 14K viewers. Come on, man.
Yo,
there's no excuse.
You're right. So they knew people were watching porn on the site. Listen, Twitch.
14K.
Twitch, just open up a Twitch Plus section for that content.
Okay.
If you're gonna do it, just do it.
Program.
Nah, just it's like you remember the old school rental movie joints? Like you got the main section and you get the back room. Make like Twitch back room. There it is.
There you
go. And you
baby.
can do all of that stuff. I don't know.
Twitch back page. I don't know about that, but I know, you know what I'm talking about.
Twitch back page. Oh my God. Rip back page, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody open that door, you over there peeking, trying to get a good look inside.
Are we gonna see more streamers abandon Twitch and change platforms? Possibly Mixer, because there's a lot of hype with Mixer right now. Now that this happened, I mean, it was already talks of it happening when Ninja bounced, but I mean, this is another L for Twitch, and people are starting to get really tired of the bullshit.
Yeah. I agree. I think to answer your question, yes, I do think so. I think so because of this. So my analogy would be LeBron James, right? Before LeBron James made that move to Miami, every great player wanted to compete against other great players, right? And the second LeBron James made that move, all of a sudden, every great player wants to play with other great players, right? No matter what team they're on. They don't care where they go. That being said, to answer your question, yes, I do think so. I think that once people start to realize, what type of brand Mixer is, and let alone no telling what kind of money is being dished out, or if there is even money being dished out. But at the end of the day, to answer your question, yeah, I do think it would. It has a big potential for other major players to come over to the platform.
What if all of this was actually like imagine this, right? Imagine there was a covert Mixer squad, right? That was going on there and setting up and doing these streams to demolish them. Can you imagine that?
Yo, that would be awesome.
There's a covert Mixer within Mixer as a company. There's a covert section, Mixer Ops, and they're going around on Twitch.
So you like the Russians infiltrating our election?
Yeah, we got Mixer squad infiltrating Twitch, creating these porn streams.
Okay,
that'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
Still Ninja, and then we go.
You sure it ain't you?
Huh?
You ain't a part of that team, huh?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay, huh?
Sorry, new stream.
I don't know English.
New stream. Who this?
Okay.
This is all going to be interesting. I want to see what's going to happen here. And the worst part is that Twitch does nothing to address it. In fact, if we go to Twitch, let me look at what's their Twitter? Twitter.com/Twitch. Let me take a look.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Let me look it up. Twitch. It's got to be Twitch. There it is.
More than likely.
Let's see what they're talking about. Nothing. Some memes.
What can you say?
5 hours ago was the last one. I mean, there's absolutely nothing here. But you can't not say nothing, because then it allows that public outcry to build and steamroll into something when you can come out and say, hey, you know what? This might have been the reason for it. And then people are like, oh, okay. But you don't address it and people start coming up with their conspiracy theories. That's where I feel like they're fucking up at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sometimes not saying anything is the best choice of action, though. Sometimes not saying anything. Like, we didn't. I mean, but then you have plausible deniability. They can say anything. We didn't know this was on the platform. I mean, you can still say it. Doesn't make it true, but you can still say it. Man, I don't know. It's just a bad look. I could see if it was a streamer who might have just started streaming, and had maybe 5 viewers. Yeah. This man had 14,000 people watching porn on his channel. It's not even his channel anymore, but a channel that he's trying to get taken down and can't.
It's just,
right?
The most disturbing part of this is, right, going back to how I was playing devil's advocate in this, right, and saying there's so much volume of people streaming, there's going to be things that slip through the cracks, right? I personally think that's a fair statement. However, where I will agree with you and where I will say Twitch absolutely took the L was how, out of all these recommended slots on Ninja's page, that first of all, you're being petty for doing it in the first place. Mm-hmm. How is it that video made it in there? That is wild. That is absolutely wild. And I'm hearing that it was up for about 2 hours before it was caught.
That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing 2 hours. 2 hours is a long time, yo. That's an hour removed from Avengers Endgame. That's a long ass movie, bro.
That is an hour and 58 minutes, more than you need to get off. more than what a lot of people got off. There was in 2 minutes too.
I mean,
There was
word
a
around
lot
the
of-
campfire,
it was
those videos average about 90
Can you
minutes,
think
bro.
about? I know I'm veering off on a tangent here, Quamp. But can you imagine 14,000 people getting off at once? That was happening on Twitch.
Ooh, that's the mega joint.
That
I
was-
don't want to say the word.
That was
the
the
mega
big. That was
overt.
the biggest orgy happening on Twitch right there. Can you imagine
You
that?
said it, not me.
Listen,
Yo.
man, there's a lot that.
I hope they had more than one ply toilet tissue.
How does the in you're gonna need a 5-ply.
You might, man.
Here's a thought. It kind of just sprung up on me as we're talking about this, right?
Talk
How
to
does Mixer capitalize off of this shit show that's happening on Twitch? Right? I mean, they got Ninja. That's a dub. That's a big dub. But
That's huge,
there's more
man.
opportunities here. What do you think? If you're Matt, if you're James, shout out to them by the way, if they happen to pop in.
First
here.
of all, I met them and they're way smarter than me. But go ahead.
But let's say you're in their position.
Okay, where my tie at? Where my suit? James tie?
Put on that business mind. What would your
There you go.
what
Talk
would,
to
what
me.
would your strategic move be to capitalize off of these L's that Twitch is taking?
I would keep pushing pushing Ninja's brand. Showing them that he is not. They're trying to demoralize his brand and show them everything that he is not. And with that, show them everything that Mixer is on our end, everything underneath Ninja, right? You know, and showcase what we do. I would even put out a tweet about how effective our Guardian, how our Guardian program is over here. Where you don't have to worry about. I mean, it may happen, it will happen, but how fast Mixer is able to take it down. I would push forward that, built on their loss on not taking that down or not caring versus Mixer having a care in the world and pushing forward their Guardian program on what that is.
I like that idea. Me on the other hand, I'm all about that guerrilla marketing, and this comes from me being in the hip hop world. Yo, I would absolutely have some memes. I'd put on some memes on Twitter, right?
And some pit bulls.
I'd put some memes out that are relatable to like what happens over there don't happen over here, right? Like I'd have like a cat instead of it being yeeted, I would like pet it. Like on Mixer, we pet cats, we don't yeet them. Like that would be a funny meme, and people would get it.
What are we doing here, y'all?
No, are y'all with me, chat? Are y'all with me?
What are we doing?
Listen, I would do that.
Thug life.
Listen, and then you would have a meme of like some like something that alludes to adult entertainment and be like, not on Mixer because we're not Twitch.
Yeah, don't just be blatantly obvious.
I would blatantly listen. People would love it.
I might be with you on this one. Or you can have two butt naked people, right? Walk across the screen, but as they walk across the screen, you have the black sensor bar, right?
Okay.
Not on Mixer. The top would say not. The belly button where the stomach is showing because it's fine could say on, and then the private part area can say Mixer. How about that?
I listen. Hey,
not on Mixer.
We need to slide these ideas over to the marketing team at Mixer and get a little bag for it. We can help with their guerrilla marketing.
Or for all those top streamers who do battle royale, you can have a bunch of women twerking butt naked, women and men twerking butt naked, and just getting popped off with the number dropping, saying 5 remaining people, 4 remaining people. You just shoot off all the twerkers. No, all the people twerking, just bam. No, top 5 situation.
Something
that might work.
That might work.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Jokes aside, though, there's a real opportunity for Mixer to strike again. In my opinion, there really is something to court people over. Reinforcing, utilizing social media to be like, hey, y'all, we have a welcoming community where we're clear about our rules. And just a quick mention here, I want to get too wrapped up into it because it happened about a week ago. Mixer was catching some flack from, get this, Twitch streamers about our TOS, specifically about the rate, the dress code with the streaming, right? If you stream on family, you got to have coverage. And then, as you go all the way 18 plus, there's levels of like what you can show body part wise. And it was a lot of women streamers that were taking jabs at it, like, oh, this is oppressive, and who wrote this? Some men in the dark ages. Here's my take on that, right? Mixer is clear from the jump of what the rule set is. So you can accept it. It's
always been that way.
It has. Since I've been, that rule's been in place since I've been here. I've been almost 2 years. You've been a little longer than me. So my thing is, the rules are there. You're not coming into something that's quasi, which is part of the problem
Where you're unsure of.
we're unsure of.
It's laid out.
It's laid out. So you can either stream here or get the fuck on. And there's no
100%.
So when I saw these flying on Twitter, I chilled because I'm like, yo, y'all don't want to hear what I have to say about it because you're gonna get offended and this that. But what I was saying was nothing offensive. It was just true. Like, these are the rules. You can either stream on 18 plus if you want to wear your whatever top you want to wear, or stay on Twitch. But I thought it was hilarious that you had Twitch streamers complaining about our shit when you got a whole mess of stuff happening over there.
It's completely different.
Yeah, that's like the friend who's got a shitty relationship, but they want to tell you how your relationship should be. Like, yo, stay over there with that shit. Like, you got a shitty
worry about yours before you worry about mine.
He's cheating on you. He's beating you in the head, 100%. And you're over here worried about my relationship. Like, you're in there. You're in that situation.
100%,
like,
man.
Yo, get out of here.
Back up off me, son.
Get out of here.
I agree, though, man. I don't. Sometimes I do want to I want to voice my opinion on social media, but I come from a world where not everything needs to be said, right?
Yeah.
So I say it amongst the circle that I roll with, and I keep it moving. As far as publicly saying anything, no, I refrain from doing it. That might change in the long run, but I don't know. But either way, yeah. But the platform has always had those rules in place. Those rules has always been there. I think they might have just pushed it forward again for whatever reason because it was trending or it was a topic of discussion. But overall, it's always been there. You had to wear a certain. You can't show too much. And I understand some women are saying, I understand. I'm not saying that I know because I don't have breasts. If I did, I would definitely be in the training bra still. It might not even have to have a training bra. But nonetheless, there are women that saying, well, what if you have big boobs, right? What if you have big breasts? How are we going to hide all this? I don't know what you do in the winter, but no, I'm just playing.
Full turn either way. Hey, they got you covered up right here. That's what you saying, Quan?
I'm just saying. No, I'm not saying that, man. I'm just teasing. But overall, man, I don't know, man. If those are the rules, we just have to find a way to play within the rules, man. I think if those are the rules, we got to just find a way to play within them.
The interesting thing is, I did not see personally not one Mixer streamer, woman say anything bad about it. They're like, hey, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything I saw was all from Twitch streamers that were ragging on it, and all the female streamers I saw tweeting about it, talking about it, were all like, hey, what do you like? We're cool. We're not really making an issue about it. I
saw a few, but it wasn't. They didn't make enough noise to impact anything.
Gotcha.
But I did see a few.
Gotcha.
I saw a few women saying, and some guys alike. I mean, like I said, for me, I don't care, right? Like, I mean, I care in a sense that no, I don't want to see all that. Again, my kids watch the platform, bro. You know what I mean? My kids watch the platform. If I was on Twitch and my kids discovered Ninja, and then all of a sudden they see what we've been discussing for the last couple of minutes, I would be pretty pissed the hell off, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I look at it as in the broad stroke of saying, I think Mix is doing the right thing by addressing what people are complaining about on a different platform.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's important.
Well, there's opportunity here for Mixer to capitalize off these repeated Twitch L's, and I guess we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Let's keep it moving along though, Quan, because let's talk about partner versus non-partner support, and specifically everyone's favorite little ass streamer goes by the name of Miss Fun Size, and we're gonna pull this up and show everybody. Made a tweet a little earlier tonight. Got a lot of reaction, a lot of people talking. At this point, let me refresh it and see where we're at with it right now. 314 likes, 60 retweets, and
2 days ago.
Was it 2 days ago?
2 days ago.
The 9th? Is it really? Oh,
it was the 9th.
Yeah, it must have popped back up on my feed because she had said something again and retweeted it, and that's how I caught it. So here's what she said. And I quote, this whole partnered streamers not supporting non-partners is fucking bullshit. Cut the crap right now. I don't give a F if you don't have a button or not. And just because you've partnered doesn't mean you should get less support because you've made it. Stop dividing the platform. And man, if you start scrolling, there's a lot of conversation here.
Yeah, it is.
Where do you even want to start with this? What is your initial thought to that tweet?
I agree with her 100%. I know when I first started streaming here on the platform, which next month will be 2 years, I didn't get that sense. once Mixer restructured their partnership program, it felt like, I don't know it to be true, but it felt like it was a huge influx of people getting partnered. And I'm not saying they didn't deserve it versus they did deserve it. I'm not saying that at all. Because that's not whatever Mixer does for the decision. I couldn't tell you. But it seems like the more it started to happen from what we see on Discord, it's like the more people got partnered, the more complaints tend to follow, and complaints from everywhere, from every situation. What I can say about myself, and those who come to the channel, those who will stick towards the end when we go to host other people, I don't always host partners, because that's not how I mean, sure, I do host partners, but overall, what I'm saying is I don't typically always host partners, because it's the streamers that make the platform grow, right?
Right.
You know, so if like for myself, when I first started streaming, there were people like people who I wanted to get where they were, the King Bailey Bombs, the Gaming Geeks, where they would come into my little old channel and drop hundreds and thousands of people and spam the chat with, you know, with their host hashtag. I think she's 100% right. I do think it's bullshit. I think that overall people need to stop dividing the platform and understand that we are all streamers. Whether you have a badge, I don't give a damn about if you have a badge button, whether I'm going to host you or not. That doesn't determine whether I'm going to come into your channel and say, okay, guys, this is where we're going. I don't give a damn about that. In fact, last week I hosted more non-partners than I did partners, period.
Right.
You know, it's about growing the platform. It's about, you know, helping encourage people who are just starting out, and that's why we have an up and coming streamers tab, you know, and for us to go into and, you know, look and see what's going on with those who are coming up and want to be, I guess, where we are, quote unquote, right?
Right.
You know, I think it's important. So I do get disturbed. I do not more than disturbed. I get a little angry when people try to divide the platform and say, but partners are only hosting partners, and that's not the case. It may be for some people, but it's not the case for most people.
Yeah,
our part.
I agree. I see a lot of diversity when people support. I do also feel though that a lot of people have a certain like litmus in order to go ahead and do that, right? Like for me, it's important that if someone I'm hosting has all their quality, right? Because I don't want to have my community go and watch something that's not up to par. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's just a matter of one, for me, it lets me know if someone's investing the time into their stream, into the quality. So you got that in play, right? And then also, I think it's also important that to know who you're hosting, if it makes sense, like community-wise, right? Like there's different vibes. Let's be honest, there's different vibes and people and stuff like that. And I have in the past hosted people that were completely left of me and my vibe, my energy and all that stuff. And when I did, I had the experience where my community went in and a good chunk of them got banned because the streamer was just like, didn't understand my community. They didn't understand what the chat nation, and that led to bad taste in my mouth. And so I quickly started formulating, okay, for me to show love, regardless of your partner or not, you got to kind of fit in some criteria for me. Quality got to be on point. Your community, the streamer and their community and their mods got to kind of understand a little, or just be chill enough so that if I send my people in and they're in there putting emotes and what, you know, just being a little goony, they're not going to get all crucified and banned. You know what I mean? So just the other day, I think it was 2 nights ago, I hosted some random streamer. I didn't know who he was from the next guy. I was watching his stream for like about 5 minutes. So it was almost towards the end of my stream. And he was just chill, laid back. And I was like, yo, I think everyone would go over there cool. As soon as I hosted him, man, he lit up his energy. I was like, oh, this is perfect. And he welcomed 100%. Everybody. They were having fun. That's, to me, is more important. And I think those are the hosts that have the most value for both parties, right? Because then your community gets exposed to someone new that they could potentially enjoy as well. Because we got to be honest here. My community isn't solely mine. These are people that are part of yours. They're part of someone else's. 100%. And when all of us are on at different times, it's like tribalism. They go into their tribe for what they want, right? If whatever they want. So it's kind of like it's all community. It's all everyone shares amongst everyone, and so I think the benefit is when you find someone else that fits your vibe and you're able to share your people and expose them to this individual, they find someone else they like. That individual, more times than not, reciprocates and follows you, and you build a relationship that you don't know where that. Those are the ones I
Growing
think
the platform.
it grows, and I think
Growing the
those are the most meaningful. And when I was going down through some of these replies that Fun Size got,
I didn't look at many of
well,
them.
this one right here, this one sticks out to me the most, really. This individual said, some of them support each other. That's why I stopped subbing to their ass. And then it's fun, kind of goes back and forth, and says, so hosting and subbing is your only definition of support. And that's definitely not the. I know where she's going with that, and I definitely agree. That's not the only form of support. Time is a form of support. Spending time in your channel while you're live, spending time in your Discord, communicating with everybody else, that's all support. That's all valuable. Those are those intangibles that you can't.
Support comes in different ways.
You can't put a dollar value on that, but it does have a value, and that's where I think sometimes people only see the numbers of it and don't understand that there's a lot of tangibles that are very important and play a big part into this whole process. There's a slew of it's really a good thread to read through on a lot of hot takes here. Of course, you got a lot of partners chiming in. I think there's some non-partners in here that are chiming in as well. But I think that it was important to bring this up just because it's something that often gets a bad rap. I think sometimes a lot of partners
It's talked about often.
It's talked about all the time.
All the time.
It really is. Do you have a system for how you decide on who you support?
No, I just say to myself, okay, in my head, as I know I'm about to close the stream, I say, okay, I hosted a partner yesterday. Let's hit a non-partner today, Quan, and then I go from there, right?
Right.
So, because for me, that's the hardest part. For me, that's the hardest part. The hardest part about streaming is trying to find, because you can only effectively host somebody once, right? Like, you can host somebody and jump as the day goes on or as the night goes on.
Yeah.
But to really bring that impact, to really bring the community, to really to do what we do on Mixer, quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes here. I know it's going to be on, audio later, but to do air quotes and saying, let's do a hashtag, whatever. You can only really effectively do that one time. So, people who have been on the platform, they know what this is. They know what's going on, and it's always good to give it to people who you know. But when you give it, I like that feeling of seeing another streamer light up. And I'm not trying to sound cheesy. I'm not trying to be all cliche. I don't give a damn.
Right.
Overall, but it's always good to see a person just be like, oh, like this, and don't know what to say, or just not know. Cause I know how it made me feel when I first started.
Right.
So I think it's important for me. It's important to show that same kind of love. One, because I got it. I got the same kind of treatment, and I think it's okay. I think it's great to pay it forward. And people don't forget that, man. I didn't forget the woman who I lost my virginity to. I still remember what her name is. Get on my nerves. I still remember her.
How do we go into streaming to sex? God damn.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. I remember who she is.
One of the great things I think recently that Mixer did was do the Embers for All beta, right? Because that was for me, like I could host and I could host like for a non-partner, right? Right now, well, prior to Embers for All, let me start here. Prior to Embers for All, the most direct ways you could support a non-partner was viewing, hosting, following, right? And a donation, right? Most of them have donation. Right. You can do a donation. And I thought that when Mixer expanded the Embers for All into a beta and allowed non-partners to monetize directly through the site, I thought it was a great thing. I'll be honest. There were a lot of partners that were tight about that shit. And which blew my mind. It really blew my mind to see how many partners were so like, well, that's a partner perk. And I'm like, why y'all? Like, what?
But you saw what type of partner it was, right?
Man,
or
listen,
when they were partnered.
Yeah, yeah. But I thought it was dope because then I was able to cop some Embers and sprinkle. I was like the Ember guy just flying around, and I dropped 50 here, 100 there, 200 there. Yeah. Around as many people as I could to lend that support and do that. And so I think that there's different ways to go about it. I certainly agree with Fun Size here that for some reason we as people get into these echo chambers, and I think that what she's speaking to are people that get into these echo chambers that start to hear that, oh, partners don't support non-partners, and they start to believe it so much that they don't go around to enough channels because they're still going, you know what the definition of insane is?
Yeah, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result.
And that's my point, is they go into the same 4 or 5 streams that have this issue, and they don't go beyond that to realize, oh, you know what, this is isolated to these people. And then furthermore, think, what are they really fucking doing that's causing the issue that no one else is going to support them? There's an issue. That's, to me, is really what it is. If no one's fucking with you, you need to kind of change some things around because it's not working.
100%.
Is it your attitude? Is it that your content isn't up to par? Is it, I mean, I don't know. These are just possibilities.
No, you're right. Because I think once people get home from their daily interactions in the real world, they get home and think that the internet is supposed to completely change and fit according to how they see the world. That's how I look at it, right? So if you're being an asshole on one end of the fence, and then you take your ass on the other side of the fence, and people know that you were an asshole before, they're not going to speak to you. They're going to treat you like shit. Basically, you can't expect anybody to treat you any different than how you've been presenting yourself going as a person and as a whole. But people are so isolated on the internet that they think that everything revolves around them when it does not. You know, it's a bigger picture. I thought it was a great idea of Mixer expanding the Ember for All program. Yeah. They recently mentioned later on in this year how they're gonna, give everyone who streams on the platform an opportunity to monetize their channel. Yeah. Great opportunity that all it's gonna do is gonna potentially. So the thought is it's gonna bring more eyes to the platform. At the end of the day, that's what you need, right? More eyes you have on the platform,
and start building the culture of spending money on the platform. And maybe we could talk about this. We could wrap up this part right here and talk about the Spark changes, right, and what that really means and what it's meant to do, right? I think we could touch on. I think it's cool to touch on that after this. But to your point, though, I agree with you. It's a great thing to drive in more people into stream and then also view.
100%.
So, segue right into the Sparks and how that's all changed, right? That has been a huge contention for. It was
been rough.
It was rough. I dubbed it. I dubbed it. I think I might have been the first. I'm not trying to take credit here, but give boy a little credit. I think I was the first to call it Sparkpocalypse.
I think so.
I was pretty much.
Yeah.
And so
I used it after hearing it from you. So thank you.
No doubt. 10%.
No.
So break down to the people what exactly Sparks was and now what it's become. You want to share that?
Okay. Yeah, well, let's go from the beginning real quickly. What Sparks was initially used for was a way to interact with the streamer.
Right.
It was Mixer currency. It's a made-up currency that Mixer has called Sparks. You acquire it by watching streams. If you were a Mixer Pro, you would gain more Sparks per X amount of seconds, per 60 seconds. But initially, it was a way to interact with streams. Some people had buttons where you can click and post a video or post a GIF or make sounds pop up on the stream. But overall, it was a great way. Like, there were certain games where you can use Mixer Sparks in order to interact with that streamer's game. Right. So you could be playing a game like Earthfall and use 100 Sparks to drop that person's health, which was super dope. I still think it's a great idea.
It never worked because they would get trolled. Spawn enemies.
Right, you could spawn a bunch of enemies using Mixer Sparks. Yeah. So not only were you watching the individual stream and playing said game, but you had total control. Oh, not total control, but you had some sort of leeway onto what happens. You can dictate that person's outcome of the game. Period. Which was super dope. Fast forward X amount of months, or maybe a year, maybe 2 years, whenever the case was. I think it was like last November when Sparks became a different thing.
Sparks patronage.
Last November, right?
Sparks patronage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So last November 2018, Mixer decided to turn Sparks into a way of making actual money for partner streamers only. So once you reach a certain milestone in a Sparks patronage, so like for instance, just spitballing, it's not a direct number, if you gain 50 million sparks within a 7-day period, or 5 million sparks in a 7-day period, you might have gained $10. If you gain 10 million sparks, you got $20, and so on and so forth. I mean, it wasn't those numbers; they were a little bit higher than that. But that's what sparks eventually grew to be. So a lot of people started to farm sparks, and farming meaning sitting into channels so you can gain sparks, even if you weren't watching the stream, but you can sit in the channel, gain sparks, and move on to drop those sparks into a channel that you see fit. But as of August 6th, all that has changed. So now Sparks are still used for interactivity, doing everything I mentioned in the beginning before the Sparks patronage. But now, instead of being directly Sparks equaling actual dollars, now Sparks equals a percentage on embers. So, for instance, if you, instead of reaching 5 million Sparks and you get $10, now you might reach 5 million Sparks and get 10% on any embers you acquired throughout that week. Is it that week or that month?
I think it's a 2 week. I think it's a 2 week this time. It's 2 times in a month. It's a 2 week buff this time.
Period
yeah,
now.
yeah.
So now Sparks doesn't directly equate to money. Technically it doesn't equate to money. Like,
it's a multiplier. That's all it is. It's a multiplier.
It's a multiplier, yeah.
Right.
It increases the percentage on what your embers are for those 2 weeks.
And so anybody that took math, and I know we went to public schools here, right? But I do remember some basic math here, which is if you do multiplication, right? So there's different tiers now, and the sparks are a multiplier. So let's just say it's a 10% multiplier. 10% times 0 is 0, right?
Donut.
You're on the donut. So those sparks don't mean nothing unless you have embers. And so piggybacking off of what Quan is talking about here, Mixer realized there was an issue with the sparks, right? Now I addressed this before in a separate live stream and whatnot, but the trend was people were farming and it skyrocketed view hours absurdly. The latest Streamlabs report had Mixer seeing a 340, don't quote me on this, but it's over 300% for sure, but it's like 379% viewer increase, right, in the second quarter. That is astronomical figures, and all of that was from farming, AFK, sitting in channels, building up your sparks so that you can go and drop it on your favorite streamer. And I know the intentions meant well, right? The intentions were well, right? You want to support your people. It was a free way to essentially donate to them, but it jacked up Mixer's numbers. It messed up the ecosystem of viewing because people were not really there. You had ghost viewers, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, you had ghost viewers. And what is that really, how does that benefit anyone? You know what I'm saying? So I think they saw there was an issue. Maybe the fact that they were courting Ninja coincided with the change in timing of when they killed Sparks' patronage here.
Conspiracy theory.
I'm conspiracy theory. There was a lot of M's that Ninja got. They couldn't, because there was a lot of money Mixer was coming out of pocket paying partners, and there was abuse of the Sparks patronage program that was widely theorized, known. But I don't know if anybody. I don't know that anybody got caught, flat out caught. But there was a lot of suspect ass, because when Mixer put the leaderboard in, you couldn't avoid that. You would see the most random name donating 50 million sparks, like one name on the leaderboard. Like, bro, that's wild. It was like
you've seen bots on the leaderboard. Wait, isn't that your bot? Oh shoot.
Oh, so
yeah,
it was a lot of things happening here, but I do think the biggest issue was that it was promoting AFKs, people not and people farming and not actually using sparks to engage and be there. And so you had the inflated numbers, and I think Mixer needed to change it. An unintended consequence of this too, kind of tied into it, in my opinion, is the fact that it created a free culture on Mixer, right? The idea that you could consume content that you enjoy and not have to directly give to it, right? So the whole idea is if you value something, this is the whole thing, right? And this has happened in the music industry, right? If you value something, when you give it that thing or service, product, or whatever it is, your money, it means you're invested into that item, that thing. You find value enough in it that you want to contribute to it, right? Whether it's an artist, whether it's a streamer, whether it's a product, a service, so on and so forth. Sparks while it allowed people to indirectly give, but it grew a culture where people could just not have to commit. There would be instances where people may not sub or may not do other kinds of direct investment into the stream or the platform. And so Mixer was losing all kinds of money. And then it became a system of people just expected to consume things without giving in any form of fashion, right? And that's a problematic problem. And it's not an issue of people trying to get rich. I don't know why in the streaming world there's a stigma about people making money. I find it very interesting why it gets shunned on in a lot of ways. So
you mean having the ability to gain money by streaming?
Right. Or that if you make money in it, that it somehow you're bad,
you're being greedy, or you're evil.
Yeah, I see a lot of that sentiment.
I think it's because it's fun, right? So if I don't know what, either you're young or if you're an adult, you're like, well, I got to go out there and bust my ass and go to work. Well, both of us do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And secondly, and a lot of mixer partners or Twitch partners, not all of us are sitting here. And first of all, I think overall what people fail to realize is that they see the end product, right?
Right.
They don't know what's going on behind the scenes on what we're doing to present what we're presenting to them, and that's where the problem lies. But yeah, it's a huge stigma where they're like, oh, you're only doing it for the money. Well, and I said this earlier today. Why'd you leave McDonald's to go to Burger King? Why'd you leave Burger King to work on Wall Street? It just wasn't paying the fucking bills, man. It wasn't cutting it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, if you're doing something that can generate money, congratulations. How you get that bag makes no difference to me. I mean, this is illegal. Then then we're talking about a different thing.
Right.
But overall, I don't know what this thing is with people where all you're doing is sitting down playing video games. That's not all you're doing, man.
Right.
That's not all you're doing. So I don't know where that comes from. Maybe it's outside of my generation. I don't know. I don't know what that is, man.
Right. It is an interesting thing. So I think that Mixer needed to recorrect it, because take away the streamers themselves. The platform couldn't thrive off of anything being free. They need people to subscribe because they get half of that money from subscribers.
Yeah.
So they need that to pay off. I just saw something recently about Twitch. Even with all the Twitch users and all the people subscribed on the entire platform, Twitch is still operating in the red because it costs so much money to run these servers to provide the streaming outlets. And that's Twitch. Mixer's a fraction of the size. So you can imagine Mixer needs an ecosystem on the platform where people are willing to invest their money into streamers and the platform so they can thrive and at least offset costs. And it is a business. Here's one of the good sides that I've noticed, and this kind of circles back to the first topic about Ninja and what some of the macro things we've noticed with him coming over. I've noticed that people coming over from Twitch with him, where Twitch culture is what's the word I'm looking for? They're used to investing bits,
right?
Subs. That it's common for them. It's not a thought. It's just like they do it. Yeah, it's not foreign. Yeah. They do that, right?
Yeah.
I know, I'm pretty sure you too. I've noticed people come in, and those individuals, when you find, I come from Twitch, have a conversation, subbed after like 3 conversations in chat, 3 lines of them saying something. I reply, they say something. I reply, they say something again, subbed. And like, they don't think about it. It's just like, this is what I do. If I like you, I'm subbing to your channel. Or if I like you, I drop some numbers. So I think that that's Mixer, I've noticed that. Yeah, it's been really, and I've watched other streamers and I've seen people that come in from Twitch and they'll say I'm from Twitch and they're jumping right in on that engagement. And I think that's what Mixer wants to do.
They want to build on that
culture. Want to build on that culture. And I think that's why Sparks flipped to what it is now, and that they're pushing for Embers. Now, Embers, in my opinion, is not without its issues, because I think the pricing on them,
a buyer is getting screwed.
It is. And I buy them too, so I'm taking L's.
Me too.
So yeah, and a lot of streamers support other streamers and will buy Embers to drop it in their channels. So I think we're all taking L's in that regard. I would like to see some of these numbers adjusted to, so you get more value, you get more of your Embers for the dollar spend. That is my biggest criticism. On top of the fact
it's a work in progress, though.
it is. We'll see if it makes any changes. I don't know, but just just for example, when Ninja goes live, you'll see embers being thrown in there left and right. That's the culture, right? That's part of that Twitch culture that will that invest in the streamers that they enjoy and they value. And I think that's where Mixer has made that hard pivot to the detriment of quite a few partner streamers here that sadly made bad choices in thinking that they can go full-time off of Sparks patronage because their community was getting them to 500 million Sparks and getting them a couple $100 a week, or no, like $500+ a week. So they were cashing in $2,000 or more, right? If we're doing the numbers here,
it was a good bag.
It was a bag. They hustled.
It was a great bag, but you can't. You gotta always. I say this on stream all the time. You gotta be forward thinking, man. You gotta be forward thinking. We knew before the Spark program even hit that it wasn't permanent. We knew that. You know what I mean? We knew that without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
So for those who directly use Sparks as a main source of income, shame on you. I was always taught growing up to never have one source of income because if you don't own it, they'll take it from you. You know what I'm saying? They'll take it from you. So shame on you. But yeah, man, I did see the same thing. I saw a lot of people getting upset that the Spark program was going away or going to be changed and altered to be different than what we knew it as. I mean, looking for you and I, we both were partnered before.
I was just about to get there because I noticed, and then you brought this up, and then so I'll give you credit because you brought this and you mentioned it first, and then I was like, shit, you might be right that a lot of the partners that were really butthurt over this were newer ones, the ones that came in when Sparks was already going and people were cashing out. And I saw them as the most vocal about, man, this is dirty, this is bogus. Oh my God, Mixer. And I'm sitting here like we knew this was coming. Like,
any of that.
They told us for months, like, hey man, we're going month to month on this shit. Like, we might cut it out at any given point. I'm like, cool, I'm not tripping.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I thought, I think for the most part, from what I've seen, it was many people who were partnered after, and they used the Spark patronage program as a sense of motivation to become partner.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a huge problem. So shame on you for not understanding what that was, right? Your mother tell you don't touch the stove, you touched it anyway, you got burnt. Now your ass got, whatever you put on a burn, I don't know. I'm about to say caramel orange. That's for chicken pox. See? New York City public school system, y'all. New York City public school system. But overall, man, I think that it served its purpose. It did, and we were even like, there were things like, with this money, you should try to improve your streams. You should try to, invest in yourself.
I gotta jump on this point because that was probably one of the most disappointing things that I saw. A missed opportunity by so many people. And this goes back into when we talked about that partner, not partner support, when we talked about Ms. Fun Size's tweet that was going viral. And how I said that I look for whoever I host, no matter what their status is on the platform, I look for the quality of their stream to be on point so that the people that watch me are accustomed to a certain level of quality. I want them to continue to experience that, right? I saw so many people were getting that bag and not reinvesting in the stream. Still had the shitty old crusty webcam, didn't had the old lighting was all jacked, didn't have a dusty old green. Like they didn't take all the money they were using. And to me, I was like, well, they were taking that bag and clearly doing other shit with it. That's the prerogative. What you do with your shit, what you do with your shit. But for me, I just look at it like, it was a missed opportunity. You could have done so much more to improve what you do and took things to another level. And now you're 100%. Broke and got to go back to working out.
Unemployed.
Go back to work at some part-time gig that you hate in the first place because you played yourself.
Yeah, man. Just not everybody can make. I think overall, I don't know this to be true, but I feel like people who stream and people who get partnered and, becoming partners is great. It's a great feeling. You're like, wow, they partnered me. That's cool. Now it's a whole different section of streaming that I'm considered to be in. Really, it's all the same though, right? It really is all the same. And I guess we're just I guess it's easy to say that when you're on one side of the fence because people are trying. I get messages all the time, like, any advice, blah blah blah. And I give them. I give them the best of my ability. I try to give the best advice that I can.
Well, we can start to wrap this up, man. Because there's been a lot to take in for this first episode of Big Faxx podcast. I think ultimately, what you're saying here is just like there's missed opportunities, and
Yeah.
I will say I do feel bad for a certain section of Mixer streamers in all of this Sparks patronage, aka Sparks apocalypse situation, right? And those would be the streamers that were grinding and were just about to get partnered or got partnered right after it got killed.
Woo.
And then get to taste a little bit of that. Oh, I feel so terrible for them. And you know what? When the word got out, I'm not gonna lie, dog. When the word got out that Sparks were changing, when it started leaking out, I was in different streamers' channels, right? People I follow, non-partners and all that, and I could just see in the face, dog. Like they were streaming, they had the control and they're trying to put on the show, but I could just see the hurtness underneath the smile that they weren't gonna get no Spark money. And I was like, damn,
Man.
I do feel bad for them because it's like you just missed it. You just missed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, man, it was a good bag. I utilized it to improve the streams, amongst other things. But we got a better mic, we got a better mix amp. We utilize it to improve the streams, better camera,
emotes, stickers, all that ads,
stickers,
overlays,
all that stuff,
animated
man.
this. I
100%.
I get it.
It's all
Go pull receipts soon.
It all was put back into 90. What number we can put on this? Let's do a rough 99.9%. That's a lie. But was put into the streams, yo. It was put into the streams. But overall, man, if they missed that opportunity, shame on them. And I can't speak for everybody. I don't know everyone's walks of life. I know for me, that's my overhead is crazy. So that couldn't have been an option for me. But everyone's different. So hopefully if they are those individuals who relied on the Spark program, hopefully they can bounce back quickly, get that job and do what needs to be done in order to push forward your life and your lifestyle. But if you are still, because I still see it, if you're still yelling that mix, you're saying this is what you need to do, as we say in the streaming business, GG's.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to wrap it up the first episode of Big Faxx podcast. Thank you so much for watching this. It is on our official YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe on there. We need all that support. Leave a comment on the vid once it's up. What do you think about any of the stuff we just talked about? We appreciate the love. Don't forget to follow us on Mixer.com/DJ MoonDawg and /Quanicus, so you can check us out live streaming video games and all kinds of other stuff. And we'll see you again next Sunday live on Mixer. Peace, y'all.